Hello there and welcome to Black Jackal Gaming. We're going to take a look at one of the Space Marine aircrafts. This guy's pretty cool because he can have we're going to take a look at the Space Marine aircraft, the Stormhawk Interceptor. This guy's pretty cool because he does have the hover ability, so you can use him as basically a normal model rather than just an aircraft unit. He's got decent medium anti-tank capability, but you can switch him to be more anti-infantry orientated. A couple of his weapons does have the anti-fly keyword, so he's going to be good into some factions. There's a good little ability there to bump up his capabilities into flyers as well, and he's got a solid toughness profile. He's going to come in at 155 points, which is quite reasonable. He has quite a nice standard data sheet, being movement 20 plus. If he's an aircraft carrier, he has to move a minimum of 20, but there's no limit to how far he can move. He's toughness 9, 3 up save, 10 wounds, leadership 6, but 0 OC. His abilities are deadly demise D3, so if he explodes, anything within 6 inches will get D3 mortal wounds done to them. He does have the hover ability, so this allows him to start the battlefield on the battlefield rather than strategic reserve. It does mean that he loses some benefits, so he can now be charged by models that don't have the fly keyword. He loses benefits from seeing over terrain, so more units are going to have the benefits of cover against him. And he does drop his movement down to 20 inches. His ranged weapons have a couple of profiles. As standard, if you go on anti-tank, you're going to want to take the Las Talon. This is a 36-inch range, 2 shots, ballistic skill 3, strength 10, minus 3 AP, and D6 plus 1 damage. So to the majority of medium to heavy-ish rated vehicles and monsters and such in the game, this guy's going to be quite good going into them, because you're going to be wounding on 3s to 4s. Anything that's hitting the toughness 11 to 12 range isn't really what you want to be targeting with this guy. So if you are going for your more anti-tank, you probably want to switch up to the Typhoon missile launcher. It comes with 2 profiles, the Frag, which is the last keyword, and Crack. Both these are 48 inches. So first up, the Frag, it's 2d6 attacks plus the blast. It's ballistic skill 3, strength 4, 0 AP, 1 damage. But if you change to Crack, it's got 2 shots, ballistic skill 3, strength 9, minus 2 AP, and d6 damage. So again, if you're targeting your toughness 8 to 9 models, you're going to be able to punch through a fair bit of damage off of this guy with your 4 shots at strength 9 and 10. It does also come with a twin assault cannon. This has devastating wounds and it's twin linked, so you get to re-roll those wound rolls. It's got a 24-inch range, 6 attacks, ballistic skill 3, strength 6, 0 AP, and 1 damage. If you want to swap across to the more medium anti-infantry option, and also into flyers, which is quite nice, you can then swap across to a different weapon profile. You're probably going to keep the Typhoon missile launcher because it is quite a good flexible option. You're going to keep the twin assault cannon because you have no option about that, but the weapons you are going to look at is the Icarus Storm Cannon. This comes with the anti-fly 2+ keyword, so you're wounding all fly units on a 2+. It has a 48-inch range, 6 attacks, ballistic skill 3+, 7 strength, minus 1 AP, and 2 damage, so a fairly good profile. And then you do have the option to swap out the Typhoon to the Skyhammer missile. This is more if you're into more you're into fly factions, so you're going to be playing into Eldar or Dark Eldar, or maybe Tyranids, where they're going more for fly options that you can really target. So this guy has the anti-fly 2+ keyword again. It's 48-inch range, 3 shots, but skill 3, strength 8, minus 1 damage, and D3 damage. You've also got a cool ability called Interceptor. So when you are targeting these fly units, you add +1 to your hit roll, so you are hitting all these units on a 2+. These guys are best starting in hover mode, so they can actually start on the battlefield rather than coming on in your second turn via strategic reserve, and they have to be within 9 inches of the edge of the board, so you're really losing out on the majority of the benefits of being an aircraft by having that unlimited movement. And then you've also got the limitation of having the 90 degree pivot, and you have to actually move So it's best being in hover mode where they're just essentially a normal unit now that can move 20 inches but can start on the battlefield. And when they are on the battlefield, you can use Tech Marines to buff them as well, and it's easier to buff them when they have to remain stationary. So they can be buffed to +1 to hit by Tech Marines, and they can be healed by them as well. There's a couple of standard strats that you can use for them, being Smokescreen, which is -1 to hit, and Armor Contempt to reduce AP. Some of the other detachments have some quite good stratagems that can be used for all units really. So there's four detachments where the rules really start to shine a little bit on the Stormhawk Interceptor. So you've got the Vanguard Spearhead. So when you're outside of 12 inches, you're -1 to hit, and you gain benefits to cover, something that you generally wouldn't be in an aircraft. You've got the Ironstorm Spearhead, so you've got a reroll to hit, wound, or damage for each phase, which is quite nice because you do have some low intensity fire with some variable D6 damage, so it's quite nice just to have that inbuilt reroll in there. If you go for the Anvil Siege Force, you're going to gain the heavy keyword, so if you're in hover mode and you're stationary, your ballistic skill is going to be on 2 because you're getting the +1 to hit. This is quite good if it's negating things like Smokescreen or lightning and fast reactions, which are giving you the -1 to hit, because if you're firing into an aircraft as well, you're going to be getting that +1 to hit back anyway, so you're going to be on that ballistic skill 2. Then there's a Firestorm Assault Force. You gain the assault keyword, and this is on all your ranged weapons, and then if you're targeting something within 12 inches, then you're +1 to your strength. So this is quite good when you're trying to deal with those slightly tougher targets, say for example Death Shroud Terminators when you've gone for the anti-infantry option, or you are targeting the toughness 11, 12 units when you've got an anti-tank. This +1 to your strength is really going to allow you to just try and punch through that armor a little bit more. So as you can see, he's got quite a few buffs that you can give him. 155 points with his movement and his toughness profile and the damage you can give out. He's actually quite nicely priced. It'd be a little bit more beneficial if he could start as an aircraft on the field, or even when he was coming from reserves, he could have his full movement to get the benefit out of that. But because of that, when you're in hover mode, there's some other buffs you can give him to anyway. So he's quite a good unit. He's a cool looking model to begin with anyway, and he's quite an easy kit to put together. So he's definitely one that you can consider including in your list, but not something that you can really rely upon or build into. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any comments, then pop them below in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, then please hit the like button as it greatly helps the channel. Hit the subscribe button to see any future Warhammer content. Take it easy and see you next time for more grim darkness from the 41st millennium.